Hey, what's up, guys? So check it out. So I'm watching. Let me see if I can play it really quick. Hold on. Let me try this shit. Let me see. Hold on. Hold up. Getting it ready here.
This election. Our kids' futures depend on this election. And I will tell you, just for me, and I don't want this to happen, but I will tell you, for me personally, if Hillary Clinton gets in, I'm ready for a revolution because we can't have her in.
Yeah, you don't
But I'm just saying it. No, I'm like Trump. Am I do I not speak for people here? Am I not saying the truth, guys? Come on.
Yeah, there's a revolution.
Okay, so she's ready for a revolution. Listen, look, man. This is why, right? Make no mistake about it. Like it's. I'm not trying to make this a laughing matter. Okay. Right now, the establishment has a grip hold, right, on the system. They just do. And they have a lot of control. The problem is, and if you want to call them the enemy, go ahead and call them the enemy. But here's the problem, all right? The problem is, establishment is they have a lot of smart people. Let's just put it that way, right? That know what they know what they're doing. They know how to pull the strings, and they know in general that people are sheep, right? They know how to work shit. That's why they're the establishment. That's why they're on top of if you want to call it the food chain, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? We are living in an oligarchy, right? We are, in fact, our laws are influenced by the big money donors in Wall Street and big oil, and all that. All that's true, right? But people like this woman are one of the reasons we can't get shit fixed, right? Because she really, we're gonna go to revolution. Like you're ready to pick up arms if Hillary wins, right? You're gonna get your whatever you have, right? Okay, you're gonna get your the weapons that you bought at a gun show or something, right? Through that little gun show loophole you got, right? Or maybe you have a license for it. I don't know. It depends what state you live in, right? But you're gonna get your gun, and you're gonna get ready for a revolution, right? Like really, we're gonna like get the fuck out of it. No, you're not, right? No, you're not. Okay, it's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Who's gonna be the leader of this revolution? Who? Trump? Is Trump gonna be the leader of the revolution? Okay, is he gonna pick up arms and go to war with? Like, well, what does that even mean? Like, you see, that's not going to accomplish anything other than, all right, you being surrounded in your house and they take you out in handcuffs if you're lucky. That's about it, right? I don't know what you're going to accomplish with that, right? Here's the issue I have, okay? And it's not about the Second Amendment. I like the Second Amendment, right? I believe people should, be able to own a gun, right? But this is about this, like Trump calls them the Second Amendment people who every day are clutching their gun and they're just waiting for 1776 to commence again. They listen to guys like Alex Jones, like they're going to take our guns, like they just listen to these people, right? And they're just ready for a revolution. It's like this tough talk. Like, no, you're not going to do anything, right? Like, no, you're not. You're not going. Look, like I said, it's not a laughing matter, right? But it kind of is. You ain't gonna do shit, right? Like when, like Hillary's elected, there's not gonna be a revolution, right? Everybody's entitled to get your ass home and get some sleep, right? It's not gonna happen. It's not, right? The reality is, people need to stop being tricked, right? and we have the ability to fix a lot of these problems. The problem is, right, a lot of shit is injected into our society that is meant to steer people the wrong way, even when they're anti-establishment, and they never have the right solutions, right? So I think it was like, what, 10% of eligible voters voted for Trump and Hillary in the primaries, right? Something like that, something around those numbers. We have nobody to blame but ourselves, right? As a collective, as a society, for these two individuals being on the top of the ticket. We have nobody to blame but ourselves for that, right? Nobody. I mean, that's something that in our society we need to fix, right? But we cannot do that with women like this. You just can't. You can't do it with people this ignorant. It is like some of the shit I hear, some people are just honestly confused. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? There's not going to be a revolution, man. Like, I don't know how you think that's going to work, right? I don't. It's not going to happen, right? You know, I always hear about the FEMA camps. They're going to put us all in camps, and like, Obama's been in office for 8 fucking years, right? You guys know that when Bush was getting out of office, right, and Obama was it looked like he was going to get elected. I mean, they were comparing him to Hitler. Like, oh yeah, look, he captivates people with his speeches, and you know, he's seducing us with his words, and you know, he's gonna make people believe in him, and then before you know it, we're gonna be in camps. And they always kept saying, oh no, it's gonna happen in the second term. In the second term, Obama's gonna do all this shit. It never happened, right? And they're like, oh my God, if Hillary's elected, it's gonna be Sharia law. Like, what? Why is it going to be Sharia law if Hillary's elected? What the fuck are you talking about? Are you guys dumb? You know, some people, honestly, I'm not saying not everybody has a right to their opinion and all that, but there's a lot of people that need to do a lot more listening than talking out there, right? I'm just saying. I mean, how are we supposed to fix all these problems when people are fighting imaginary shit? Like, how are we supposed to fix it? You see, I had somebody tell me Hillary was Satan incarnate, and Donald Trump represented God and what's right and righteousness. Like, what, man? Like, are you fucking shitting me? Like, what? And I wanted to clarify too. Like, you think Hillary Clinton is like, when they say she's the devil, do you mean like she's bad and not a good person, does some fucked up shit? Or do you mean like she's literally the devil? Like the devil, like a demon, got in her body and took over her body and wants to get elected, you know, as president of the United States to do devilish shit, right? Like, do you honestly believe that? Like, you see, there's no reasoning with a person that believes that. They're demons. Obama's a demon. Flies fall on him. Like how do you reason with someone who believes that because a fly, okay, landed on somebody, right, that makes him a demon, okay, therefore they're of the devil? You know, I can't supposed to fix issues when a certain segment of the population believes shit like that. How are we supposed to fix these issues, right? Yeah, and Obama and Trump is like a bastion of like Christianity, right? I mean, he is, you know, a soldier of God to some of these people. Like, how are we supposed to fix these problems when you have people that think this way? How? It's like it's an unfair fight. The establishment is laughing. Like, look, they fall for this bullshit, right? This shit's insane. It's just stupid. And the media, look, let me tell you something about the media, okay? The mainstream media. I've always said don't trust the mainstream media, but don't dismiss the mainstream media. You need to understand that. You know what I mean by that, right? When the mainstream media gives you information, don't just, the mainstream media gave it to me, therefore it's false. No. When the nation, don't trust the information, research it for yourself, and find out if it's true. So there's a difference, right? And the more and more people do that, it'll keep the mainstream media in check, but people don't do that, all right? You know, it's like, at what point, you know, can we say, you know, hey, let's fix our society. You know, let's start working on this and create some solutions. What do you think we should do? I don't know, man. If I just fucking hate Hillary. She's elected. We're gonna go to war. Like, what? For what? Like, that's stupid. For what? All right. I got news for people. Look. I have a very serious question, right? And this is coming from somebody who is not. I am not a Barack Obama supporter. I am not someone who, you know, thinks he did an amazing job as president. None of that. Right? But there's people out there that say things like the following. Obama caused great division in the country. Can you please give me some specific examples on how Barack Obama divided the country? Can you give me some specific examples on how he did that? Can you please? All right? Can you give me specific examples? I want like specific examples on how he did that. All right, like this idea, because I'll hear the following and it's retarded. Hey man, America proved that we were all going to live in harmony and we all loved one another. You know, there was no more racism. When we voted for Obama in 2008, we put him in the White House. And then Obama comes out and you know, fucking divides the country up, right? That's like a retarded version of the story, yeah. That's like a dumb version of the story. Did Barack Obama win the election in 2008? Yes, he did. Right? Of course he did. We all know that, right? But we know who got him in office. It wasn't white males. Right? That's the reality. It wasn't white people in large part. I'm not saying no white people voted for him, but you know, to make it seem like everybody's in unity, you know, voted for Barack Obama to prove that racism is no longer real, that's a fantasy world you're living in, right? I didn't see Barack Obama win the southern states. Did he win? Like, did he? I mean, yeah, Virginia and North Carolina that one year, but he lost some of these southern states with a certain history pretty handedly, right? And if you look at the demographics, you could clearly see who did not vote for him, right? And I'm not saying it was all. I'm only trying to show you that this idea that him winning the election is proof that all our problems were solved. There was no more racism. You know, this idea that when Barack Obama was elected, it was proof that racism no longer existed. Okay, we cured ourselves of racism, right? We put a black guy in the White House, so therefore we had conquered racism already. You know, what world do you guys live in to believe that? That's number one. Number two, I just want to know, what did he do? Like, I just specifically, I don't want you to tell me whether or not he thinks he was a good president. I want to know what he did specifically, right, to divide the country. You know, are you telling me that he brought the birth birth certificate thing onto himself? Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling me that the people that accuse him till this day of, which is almost 50% of Republicans, of being a Muslim and an atheist and all these other things, right? A Kenyan. Are you telling me that Barack Obama brought that upon himself? That he's at fault for people thinking that way? Is that what you're telling me? I just want to know. I honestly, I want it explained to me. I always hear it, like he divided the country. Well, what do you mean by that? Why? Well, look at the election against Romney. Yeah, he won by 5 million, but look how many people voted for Romney. Like, I mean, that's been the case like forever. Okay, look at all the elections even in landslide. The other guy still got like 40% of the votes. I mean, it's not like So we have to really look at it here. We have to analyze it honestly. Since I'm on here, let me give you my honest assessment about Barack Obama, right? The other day, it was about, what was it, 2 nights ago? I was on here, I was talking to Ben Umar, and he said something, he said, Barack Obama's top 10 worst president of all time, right? That's his opinion. And that's how he feels right now. I'll let him give his reasons for that. And we kind of talked about a few things, but that's interesting, although I don't think very highly of Obama myself, right? I think he dropped the ball on a lot of things, and he definitely wasn't as advertised, like he just wasn't. But is he really like top 10 worst all time? And this is not just Tim. I honestly, this is an honest question to everybody out there, because I keep hearing people call him the worst of all time. Like Barack Obama's the worst president ever. Like what? Oh, okay. So let's talk about that, right? Again, I'm not arguing he was a great president or anything, but for people that say he's the worst ever, statistically speaking, that's not really true. I mean, if just by comparing him to Bush, it's just not true, right? Now, Bush is not a high standard. He's not, right? Some of the things that I don't like Obama about, right? I just don't, is the things I disagreed with was, number one, his foreign policy, right? I don't like the fact that we're still bombing people, right? We're bombing weddings in Pakistan, right? Where we think a quote-unquote terrorist is there, and we bomb a whole fucking wedding, right? We're bombing innocent people. We are responsible for killing so many people in the Middle East. We're getting involved in the Middle East, toppling dictators still, right? I have an issue with that, right? I do. And that's one of the primary reasons I think he was a terrible president. But we have to, if we're going to compare him to all presidents, we have to hold him to the same standard. So to me, that's no different than Bush did, than Clinton did, than Bush Sr. did, than Reagan did. So different, right? I mean, we could say all we want, but Ronald Reagan, right, gave weapons to Saddam Hussein, right? It was a president of the United States that helped Saddam Hussein get into power and gave him biological weapons to attack the Iranians. Biological weapons. All right? If Obama did something like that today, if you found out that Obama gave a country biological weapons, right? Now, whether that's happened or not, I guess we don't really know. But it hasn't really been discovered or anything, right? So we don't know. But let's say it was discovered that he did that. Everybody would be saying, oh my God, how horrible. I mean, the media will come out and they'd act like something like that has never been done. Republicans would come out and, oh my God, Obama's such a disgusting individual. Everybody would go, oh my God, look at what Obama did. Right? But half of those people, it would just be a bunch of fake outrage because they didn't get outraged about it in the 80s, right? When another president did it, right? Look at what we did in Vietnam. I mean, you could go back president after president. We've done some fucked up shit, right? No matter, pick your president, and there's something fucked up that they did. FDR, I rank FDR high as a president, but we got to judge him by the presidential standard, and then there's a human standard. You know, he did take Japanese people, right? Violated their civil rights, you know, closed down their businesses, took them out of their fucking homes, and put them in camps. FDR did. If Obama did something like that today, could you imagine? I'd be right. I mean, that this is the type of stuff they say Obama's going to do. Oh, they're going to put us all in camps. We've had presidents that already did that. And if we start going to the 8th, some of the atrocities start getting worse. You just got to put it into context. That's what you got to do. Could you imagine some of these presidents having the current military that we have today, right? What type of weaponry that we have today? Think of the atrocities they did with muskets and fucking horses, right? Imagine they had the military of today with nuclear arms, right? So we got to put it in. There's a lot of perspective that you got to put in here, okay? Oh, look at Eisenhower. Eisenhower did some atrocities himself too, right? A lot of presidents were involved in a lot of atrocities, okay? Look at Andrew Jackson. Look at all the atrocities he committed. Oh, I mean, that's just the reality, right? So I'm not here to say, hey, look, Obama's squeaky clean. He was a great president. But compared to some other presidents, I'm sorry to say, he's just not that bad. That's not the popular thing to say, right? Not in a circle that's politically incorrect here, right? It's not a very popular thing to say. But I'd take that debate with anybody any day. Because anything you accuse Obama of, other presidents did it tenfold, right? They had some involvement in that, right? It's almost every president had their atrocities, right? The way it is. You know, it's to a certain degree. Now, back to Obama. See, Obama, right? My issue with him is, number one, right? People that call Obama a communist and like, that's just laughable, right? I mean, he continued the Bush tax cuts for the rich and the wealthy. Okay, he has done a lot of subsidies for like the corporations, just like the Republicans have. All right, it's just he's Republican light is what it is. Okay, if this was the 90s, Obama would be a Republican, and if you know politics, it's not that hard to visualize him as a Rockefeller Republican, right? It's not. But my issue is that he lied too much, right? He didn't fulfill, his duty that he told people he was going to do. So Guantanamo, and a lot of this stuff that I have issue with, it's not stuff that a lot of Republicans have issues with, right? It's not stuff that, a lot of these, and if I'm honest, a lot of these racist, people on the right have against him, because they love this stuff, right? When Barack Obama just mentioned, let's have a discussion about closing down Guantanamo Bay, right? They fucking lost it on the other side. Okay, oh my God, he's gonna bring the terrorists home. Barack Obama wanted to close down Guantanamo Bay, right? He wanted to find out who these people really are, give them a fair trial, let's see if they are terrorists or not. Okay, it's called rule of law, people, right? And then if they were guilty of being terrorists, okay, and by the way, most of them were not even, they were going to have military tribunals, by the way. It's not even like the same standard. They could easily find somebody guilty in that case, right? And they were going to bring them to prisons in the U.S., right? Along with rapists and murderers and shit like that. And they made it seem like Obama's putting our country in danger because he was putting, some quote-unquote terrorists from Guantanamo Bay in our prison system. Right? He didn't have the balls to just close the shit down, right? Because he was being called weak and he was putting American lives in danger. He couldn't stand. He just didn't like the criticism, right? He wanted to make Republicans happy. I think a lot of it is because deep down, he's like Republican light, right? Like deep down he is, and he couldn't get himself to just close down fucking Gitmo, right? But he did some good things. I'm not going to just let some of the good things he did slide. He got rid of privately owned federal prisons. That's a step in the right fucking direction, right? Step in the right fucking direction, right? I think that's a good thing. Now we got to do it at the state level. Right? I think he should have attacked the war on drugs more. I think he should have pushed legalizing weed more. Okay, he should have pushed at least. Like I understand in 8 years, you're not going to just abolish the entire war on drugs, right? But at the very least, he could have worked to get weed legalized. He just didn't want to deal with Republicans calling him weak and he just didn't want to do it, right? So that, or he just thinks weed should be illegal. I don't know, right? In 8 years of a presidency, most Americans want it legalized. He could have gotten legalized, right? At least uncriminalize it at a federal level, At the very least, he could have done that, right? There's a lot of things he could have done, right? Getting rid of the embargo with Cuba it was about fucking time, right? Took him forever to do it, but he did it, right? I'm not going to give him credit for getting the troops out of Iraq because he wanted to keep them in Iraq. The contract expired, Iraq kicked us out, right? So I'm not going to give him credit for taking the troops out because he didn't do that. We were forced out, right? He campaigned saying, I'm going to get the troops out of Iraq. What happened? When he went into office, he had a Democratic Senate, Democratic Congress. He was president. He could have gotten a lot of shit done, but you know why he didn't? Because he wanted to show everybody. He went out of his way to show, look, I'm going to work with Republicans. Look, see, I'm a good president. You see, I extend my hand to the side of the aisle. Look, I'm going to work with Republicans. I am. See? Whenever I try to get a bill passed, I'm not going to start the negotiation from the left because they start from the right so we can meet in the middle. No, I'm going to start in the middle. That's what I'm going to do because I'm Republican light because I'm a centrist, centralist, candidate. That's what he was, right? Playing it safe, and it's just too much safe. Obama just wanted to play everything safe, like no matter what you ask him, like he plays it safe. Like I remember when they asked him, "What do you think about Kaepernick? Not standing up for the national anthem?" Well, I think we should respect our troops. I believe the flag means a lot. I think that the flag is the most important thing in our society. But with that said, I think he has a right to express his freedom of speech. I mean, out on the particularly personally agree, but he has a right to not stand for the flag if he doesn't want. So I think everyone needs to come with an understanding and like shut up, right? Like this whole down the middle bullshit, like it's annoying. All right? He wants to voice his opinion on police shootings, right? Because there's a lot of them going on. Well, I think it's troubling what we're seeing, but it's important to know that police overall, 99% of them are good. Like, it's just like, all right, dude, right? I get it. You're going to kiss your ass for 10 straight minutes, and then you're going to finally say what you want to say, but you're not really going to say it. And guess what? They're still going to come out. The Sean Hannitys and the Rush Limbaughs and the Republican congressmen and police unions are still going to come out and they're going to say, Obama fucking hates police. He wants police to die. Like that. They're still going to come out and say that, right? and this whole like, I want to play it safe because can you please like me? It just felt to me like he really wanted Republicans to like him. That's what I think. I think he tried really hard. That's why I presented the question: what did Obama do to divide the country when, from day one, he was kissing Republican ass? From day one, from fucking day one, like he really wanted to. He couldn't wait to work with Republicans, right? Like he just couldn't wait for day one to go to their offices and shit. When many of them behind closed doors will tell him, "Look, I really like you, man. I really do. And this bill would make a lot of sense, but I can't, I'm in a southern state. I can't co-sign a bill with you because I have an election next year." They'll, if a Republican, you need to understand, if a Republican worked with Barack Obama, that was career suicide, right? If they did any legislation together of any sort, right, it was career suicide for them. Forget, it's not about losing in the main election, but in the primaries, okay, they'll get replaced by some other Republican, right, that will fit the mold and give the red meat of the voters, the constituents of that area that think he's a Muslim and a terrorist, and they honestly believe he's the leader of ISIS and he lives in the White House. You see, this is the type of people we're dealing with here. I don't think we're dealing with an honest assessment of his presidency when it comes to a lot of people. I just don't. I'll repeat. There's people that think that he's Satan incarnate, right? That he's literally the devil, and he's rolling over the country. Some people said he was the Antichrist, right? The second coming of Hitler, and he's going to take away our guns any day now, right? This dude, they probably think like the guns are going to be taken away like in the last day of his presidency. I have no idea. They're not going to take away your guns. Like, it's not going to happen, right? It's just insane, man. Like, this is all I want with guns. This is my personal opinion, right? If someone wants to own a gun, right, they should at the very least pass a background check. That's it. Like, I don't think it's that hard. I don't think it's that difficult, right? The gun should be registered under your name, right? It's just something I believe should happen. That's it. That's all. You can't get some shit like that. You can't get some comprehensive law like that passed without people losing their shit saying that they're going to take away all your guns, right? You just can't, right? So anyway, I just want to know, what did he personally do? Because everything I hate Obama for, right, are things Republicans do tenfold, right? All you have to do is listen to these people, right? When you hear a guy like Cruz or Rubio, right, in the primaries saying Obama's weak. Look, Obama's letting ISIS just slap him around, and what they're really saying is we need to bomb the Middle East even more. Right? That's what they're saying. When, Trump comes out and says, we need to target their families. Because folks, these terrorists don't care about their own lives, but they care about their families' lives. Right? What is he saying? Without getting PC and saying, oh my God, he says he's going to kill the family, right? But we do that now anyway, right? But what is he saying? He's saying he's going to do more of it. He's going to do it to show off. He's going to do it to show that we're powerful. Right? If there's one thing I can say is that Obama doesn't do shit with our military just to show off. Right? I think he's getting some really bad advice, by the Pentagon. I think he he walked into a military-industrial complex, and which is very powerful and very influential. I think he realized right away when he took office that if he ever wanted to be reelected or win an election or have somebody like Hillary come along and win the election, that he was going to have to a certain degree play ball. I think advisors are giving him bad advice, right? But overall, he is a president. He is responsible for this. And I would have rather Obama went in for 4 years, did what he said he was going to do, right? Stop invading countries, stop bombing innocent people in the Middle East, okay? Withdraw our troops from Iraq, get rid of Gitmo, right? And then lose an election in 2012 because of it. I would have rather have him done that than worry about his legacy and wanting to be reelected. And that's just my personal opinion, right? Because I think in the long run, history would have looked back and said, yeah, what that guy did, he was doing the right thing, right? Where now in the long run, they're going to look back and say he was just another typical United States president. I don't buy this. He's the worst president of all time. He's just another typical United States president, right? That's my opinion. All right. With that said, I got some more shit I got to do, man. So I'm heading the fuck out of here. Peace.